Rockies win. They're into the postseason for the second time in 3 years. The fans decked out and ready to go today as the Rockies look to clinch at least a National League wild card berth today as they take on the Milwaukee Brewers. Hello everybody, I'm Tom Helmer. Glad to have you with us this afternoon as the Rockies look to clinch a playoff berth. Right now I'm going to turn things over to Drew Goodman and George Frazier because we're ready for Rockies baseball.
It is cool, but it is a beautiful Thursday afternoon. Final regular season home game of the year. The Rockies, for the second time this season, 22 games above 500 as they close out this series against the Milwaukee Brewers, looking for the sweep. The Rockies, we've been focusing on the wild card. They're 4 up on Atlanta. You know the magic number's 1. But the Rockies, all of a sudden, just 2.5 behind Los Angeles in the NL West. And good afternoon, everybody. I'm Drew Goodman. These indeed are special times. With 90 wins, the Rockies matched their franchise best in a regular season set, of course, 2 years ago. Believe it or not, if the Rockies were to go clean the rest of the way, not only would they win the National League West, they would have a chance at being the #1 seed in the National League. Unbelievable. This month of September, as I turn to George Frazier, these are fun times, and this club is starting to play its best baseball at the right time of year.
Well, and in all facets of the game, too. They're not only just pitching well, the bullpen's doing well, clutch hitting, they're starting to hit the ball over the wall, all those things. But going back to what Drew talked about, think about this. You go from having to travel that if you sweep the Dodgers, all of a sudden you get home field advantage. And, folks, that is huge to have you in the crowd every single day for a playoff game in this ballpark. There's a lot to play for, and I think sometimes you don't want to get caught up in today's celebration as much as thinking what you could do over the long span of the next 4 days, that you get to be the guy.
But let's be honest, first things first, and I know that's what they're thinking about in the clubhouse. They haven't achieved anything yet. The magic number's still 1. They need to win a baseball game. They'd love to do it here at home. George, I don't know the history of when you played, when you guys clinched. Did you ever do it at home?
Oh, yeah, we did it at home, and that's the neatest part about it, when you do it in front of your fans, to where when the game ends, and I go back to 1984 where the Cubs were, obviously they hadn't been to World Series in a long time, that when they did win, the feeling of walking out of that dugout and making that victory lap around the field, and everybody's just throwing things at you and they love you, and the feeling of you have accomplished everything you've dreamed about, from the backyard wiffle ball games to when you're in high school to when you're in college and professionally, to get the opportunity to go play for a ring and be world champions. There's nothing like it.
It would be a beautiful thing to do it right here at Coors Field. With all due respect to the NBA and the NHL, it is much more difficult to reach the postseason in Major League Baseball. They only take a few. Rockies and Brewers, more to come. Milwaukee trying to win for the 91st time this year. If they do, they will guarantee themselves a playoff spot in 2009. Back upstairs with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. Aaron Cook takes the baseball for the Rockies against a guy with a big arm, a left-hander, Manny Parra from Milwaukee. First for Aaron Cook. Second start back. Jim Tracy's words, he was stunned at how effective Aaron was 5 days ago.
Well, he threw strikes. He pounded it, and he did it against a very good baseball team, St. Louis Cardinals. Now, when you get this going for him and the ability to throw that hard sinker for a strike, I think the biggest asset Aaron Cook carries with him, anywhere he's on the field, nothing bothers him, regardless of where he is, the situation he's in, the amount of ground balls that he got, the amount of double plays that he was able to turn. 4 hits in 5 innings. And he felt strong. He felt like he could get on more innings, but why push the envelope? You haven't been out there in a long time. You haven't been extended with this many pitches before to give him that chance to go out and do it again. Aaron Cook is his most even-keeled guy that you can be around in that entire locker room. I mean, he's sitting down this morning with me in a clubhouse talking about his ranch in Texas. And I'm thinking, you know, you're getting ready to pitch a clinching game. I'm not saying that to him, but that's how even-keeled this guy is and where his mind is and how he can turn it on and turn it off.
I think it's fitting that he is on the mound. He's the senior statesman of that rotation. He started opening day, and he has a chance to pitch the Rockies to a place they were just a couple of falls ago when Matt Holliday scored in the 13th. Rockies and Brewers, come on back. And by Red Wing Shoes, visit your local Red Wing shoe store where fit comes first. It is a chilly but sunny autumn afternoon. Rockies and Brewers meeting naturally for the final time this year as you look inside the Brewers dugout. Ken Maka in the background. Here's his lineup this afternoon. Very similar to the lineup you saw last night. Felipe Lopez at 308 will lead off. Then Jody Garrett. The big twosome of Ryan Braun, Prince Fielder. Fielder hit his 44th last night. Casey McGee can swing the bat. Mike Cameron hit a home run yesterday. Alcides Escobar will be at shortstop. Jason Kendall has caught all 3 ball games. And left-hander Manny Parra, who can swing the bat. He's a good athlete. He'll be pitching and batting 9th. This could be a very special day for the Colorado Rockies. And Aaron Cook, who missed most of the stretch run in 2007 and did not participate until Game 4 of the World Series, is out on the hill after missing basically 5 weeks. He made his last start, and we just touched on it, as he has the first pitch in there, strike 1. George, not only was it 5 shutout innings, and as you described, he gave up only 4 hits, 12 ground ball outs of the 15 outs.
5 dominating innings. That's what I liked about it. And when he did get a little traffic, he had the ability to flip the double play ball. Cook with 30 wins at Coors Field, second career-wise behind Jennings. The win today would tie it. Jennings with 31.
And that missed in the bottom of the zone. 2-1. Jim Joyce is calling balls and strikes. If you see what appears to be London fog on the field, they shot off some fireworks just a few minutes ago, so it's kind of smoke clearing. Fouled off, 2-2. So Aaron, who is very sharp in his last outing, does not have a pitch limitation today as he did in his first outing. Rockies wanted to keep him around 75 pitches in his first outing. He threw 73 in 5 innings. Jim Tracy saying, you know what, there are no limitations, but Aaron's the kind of guy that if you give him 85 pitches, he can go pretty deep with 85 pitches if he's on. And the 2-2 is lifted to center field. Fowler in the sun makes the catch. 1 out as we check the Fidelity scouting report on Aaron Cook.
You're going to see a lot of sinkers. Obviously, first pitch fly ball to dead center on a fastball up. But heavy sink 88-93, the slider 81-85 can act an awful lot like cutters when he wants it to get on the knuckles of those left-handed hitters. Change up 76-81. And he'll use it off the sinker. Now, that's one pitch that he's worked on since coming off the disabled list has been the sinker. That hard change up down and away. Chris Iannetta behind the plate with Mr. Cook today.
Here's Jody Garrett, and that pitch tails away, ball 1. I got to figure Garrett and Aaron Cook, George, overlapped in the minor leagues in the Rockies organization.
Well, you know, you have to go back and look at it. I'll do it here in just a second. You grab it, turn the whiskey, and be able to pour out for Speedy Garrett.
Too quickly gone. Ryan Braun will step up for Milwaukee. Here's the defensive alignment for the Rockies. Spilborgh's in left field. Dexter Fowler in center, Brad Hoppen right. Atkins in third, Tulowitzki at short, Varmus and Helton right side. And as George mentioned, Chris Iannetta giving your Torrealba the afternoon off. Parra, you guessed by the defensive alignment, is left-handed. That's why you're seeing Atkins in there, Spilborgh's. Braun's had a good series, 4 for 9. Robbed of perhaps another double in the series on a terrific catch by Brad Hopp against the right field wall. A very aggressive right-handed bat. One of the, I don't want to say budding superstar. I think he is a superstar already. I mean, he's hit 30-plus home runs his first 3 years in the big leagues. And he hits for average also. Quite a talent. 1-1. Welcome everybody to October. We hope it runs right into November. Season starting a week later than usual because of the World Baseball Classic. The Rockies, by the way, finished September, one of their top months of the year. June was great. They went 21-7. But how about September? 18-9. I think that also helps define what kind of club you have. When you need to win, when you're playing playoff atmosphere games, how do you do? And the Rockies stepped up. Here's the 1-2 on Braun. They set up away, and this ball's a broken bat foul ball. So that missed location.
Hard to throw that hard sinker when you got the movement Aaron Cook has today. He's demonstrated it to keep the ball to the outer half of the plate. But when you aim out, it's going to typically run back to the middle, but it's going to have some pretty good down movement. Take a look at the Bird Automotive keys to this game today. The left-handed starter going for the Milwaukee Brewers, Aaron Cook, and in the offense against that left-hander. And it's interesting note because the Rockies are 25-26 against left-handers. And what's interesting to me, under Clint Hurdle, the ball club was 6-11. Well, what they were against, or what they are, I should say, against Jim Tracy, 19-14 against left-handed starters. So it's much different result with Mr. Tracy up on top. I guess I should correct that. 25 and 25 against the lefty. Take a shot at this pitch. You can see a little bit off the plate on the outer half. This umpiring crew has not called the outside corner or off of it much in this series at all.
Swung on a miss on a slider up. Good start for Aaron Cook. 1-2-3 through the Brew Crew in the top of the first inning. We'll see Dexter Fowler leading things off for the Rockies when we return. Took over. The Rockies a chance to go 23 games over 500 for the first time ever this afternoon. And if they do that, they obviously will clinch a playoff spot. Fowler, Spilborghs, Helton's had a big series. Troy Tulowitzki will bat in a cleanup spot. He's had a large series. Garrett Atkins, Chris Iannetta, Brad Hoff against the lefty. He'll bat 7th. Clint Barmas, and then Aaron Cook. Dexter Fowler, switch hitter, in from the right side against Manny Parra. And Parra's first pitch is fouled back. Parra has a big arm. He can touch 95 with his fastball. He has an ERA over 6. But George, the word is since he was sent out for a few weeks and has come back, he's been a different guy.
Well, part of that coincided. When he got sent out, he went down with Chris Bosio. Bosio's now their pitching coach in the big leagues after they let Billy Castro go. And he said, you got some of the greatest stuff in the world, but until you get aggressive, until you figure out that you're pretty good, you're never going to sniff the big leagues again. And it was kind of a wake-up call for the youngster to get things together and to work on things. The one thing he has developed has been a changeup. Starting to use that more. And it's shown up in his last 3 starts, 2-0, a 188 earned run average, just 10 hits over 14 innings and 13 strikeouts.
He'll also throw a split finger on that left side. 2-2. Parra is a native of Sacramento, California.
He's had a lot of things go his way, obviously. To have 11 wins in the big leagues, but yet have an earned run average of .616. That's the worst ERAs with over 100 innings thrown. Bush has a 6.38 earned run average. Gear 5.96.
How about this?
ERA.
George, only 15 pitchers have ever won 11 or more games with an ERA over 6. Ever.
A lot of run support, obviously.
Parra gets a strikeout of Fowler on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Take a look at the Fidelity scouting report on Parra.
You're going to see some big numbers. 88 to 94. The hard slider can be very sharp and diving. The curveball is one of his out pitches. 12 to 6, 73 to 79. Pretty good changeup to go along with that. Prior to the break, this youngster was 3-8, 678. Since then, he's gone 8-2.
Spilborghs takes a strike. Well, 2 years ago, he was their minor league pitcher of the year. Going into last year, he was rated their second best prospect in the organization. He went around 0-2. So he is a guy with a lot of promise, a lot of ability.
Well, it's not hard to see that. It's not hard to look out and see an arm like his throwing curveballs at 80 to 84 miles an hour, the good fastball up to 93, 94, and being left-handed.
No swing, 1-2. Parra has walked 72 and 137 and a third innings. That's a high number. 2-2. They've made some comparisons, Parra, to where Jorge De La Rosa was a couple years ago, George. Swung on and missed, back-to-back strikeouts. Let's take a look at the Brewers defensively. Same outfield as last night, Braun, Cameron, and Jody Garrett. Cameron, Gold Glove caliber center fielder. Casey McGee has made 14 errors at third. Lopez has made 17 at second. I don't understand that. Escobar's good fielder. Prince Fielder's at first base. And again, Jason Kendall behind the plate. He had a rough night. Kendall had to block, I think, about 40 pitches last night from Jeff Suppan, and a couple he was unable to block turned into wild pitches that scored runs.
What was interesting, you just think with Suppan's delivery, his typical command that he would have to be third in the National League with 12 wild pitches. I mean, that to me was unbelievable.
Elton's had a big homestand, 13 for 30. That's in there for a strike, and of course last night he hit his 15th home run of the year. His 200th at Coors Field. Got 325 all time. You rarely see Todd do that. Gives you an idea of what time of year it is. 2-2.
Next closest guy on that home run list, Larry Walker with 154 at Coors. Castilla, Bichette, Matt Holliday at 84.
Elton has never faced Parra before. Here's the 2-2. 3-2.
There's only been a handful of guys that have faced him.
And nobody,
Atkins, Hop, Ioannidis, Bill Borges, Torrealba, the only guy not in the lineup today that had faced him before.
and those guys you mentioned, George, had one at bat against him. That's it. Todd rifles this one to right center field. It'll be a base hit with 2 outs. That'll get Tulowitzki to the plate. Well, the Rockies hit 3 2-run home runs in the ball game last night. Troy Tulowitzki got a change up and he smothered it. His 31st of the year. 7 more home runs than any other shortstop in the game. So George's not going to have a voice left in a few hours, huh, George?
A lot of strikes being thrown by both of these pitchers. Early strikes in the count. Tulowitzki, look at some of the numbers he's thrown out. It's just been very phenomenal to see the long ball jump as much as it has jumped for him. 7 home runs, 14 RBIs, 6 runs, a 279. It's just been fun to watch.
Well, he's a guy that hit 24 his rookie year. 1-2. The Rockies have drawn 2.626 million people, and they expect a crowd maybe nearing 40,000 for the final regular season game. And all these folks hope to see a little bit of a celebration and celebrate themselves. 2-2. And the Rockies extending the pitch count of Parra in this first inning, which is a good thing. 21 pitches in. The Rockies score 7 or more as they've done the last couple of days. Make sure you go to Taco Bell in the state tomorrow between 4 and 6. Get 4 tacos for $1. Check stores for details. 2-2 on Tulowitzki. 3-2. One of the things about Parra, George, that he's trying to overcome, that we've discussed and made the comparison to De La Rosa, is when a couple of bad things happen, it can tumble out of control for him.
Well, it just multiplies. I mean, he gets 2 quick outs, 2 punch outs. He looks like Cy Young. Then the base hit happens, and all of a sudden, he feels like he can't make a mistake with some of the best stuff a left-hander can have.
And that's a rocket up the middle, first and second with 2 outs. And Garrett Atkins will take his turn.
Now you can see what he does here. Fastball up. Tulowitzki made him pay for it. That's above the belt line and just scalded it. And because of the way he falls off, everything looks really good here. The balance point looks great, but watch the rotation of his upper body when it starts to throw, and then the arm just drags behind it. When that drags, everything pulls over to this side of the field. He's not going to stay on pitches. The more you can stay on line to the plate, the better he is. First 2 batters he did that. The last 2 have made him pay for it for not doing it.
Inside on Atkins. George, with that base hit by Tulowitzki, he's now at 296 for the season. It is very much a possibility. All the other glowing stats that he possesses this year, he could hit 300.
No question he could hit 300, and think about just the start of the season and where it was and where he is now. It's fun to watch play the game.
One ball and 1 strike. Atkins at the plate. And Garrett with a bloop to left. Braun coming on. He's going to have to field it on a hop. Helton coming home. Safe there. Rockies take a 1-0 lead. Back-to-back singles with 2 outs.
Well, you know, it's got to feel good for Garrett Atkins. He's hit a $198 since the All-Star break. To be a part of a day that you think you're going to celebrate, and he came up, broken bat or no broken bat. This ball just died out into the outfield. A cutter in onto the hands. You can see as this ball gets there, it's going to break the bat, but Atkins' strength gets the ball out over the infield and in front of Braun in left field. Braun, I don't think, on this sunshiny day, didn't get a very good break on the baseball. Helton moving with 2 outs. Well ahead of the throw at the plate.
Chris Iannetta, the hero from 2 days ago, when he hit the pinch hit 2-run walk-off in extra innings. He looks to get several at bats this afternoon. 16 home runs. He's driven in 52. Inside. How about this? You know, Chris does not have the average that he wants to have. And last year was a coming out party a little bit for him offensively. 18 home runs, 65 RBIs. The average was better. But look at this, George. Among hitters with 300 or fewer at bats in the big leagues, he has the 2nd most RBIs. He is still very productive, despite the average not being where he believes it should be, where his talent suggests it should be. He's still productive.
I think there's a few guys you can throw into that category. Clint Barmas, another, but Ian Stewart, another. Guys that have not hit the average that they've wanted, but you know, Chris Iannetta's right in the mix with all those guys. Bunch of guys with home runs and RBIs, but average is down.
Runners take off, or at least Tulowitzki does, and he swipes third. You know what that is? That's his 20th stolen base of the year. That's another milestone that he can check off. That's quite a package, man. The defense, the home runs, the average, the ribbies, and now the stolen bases.
Well, obvious, not even a throw out of Kendall from behind the plate, much so like the middle of their infield, playing out in the defensive depths to get this, try to get this last out.
3-1 for Iannetta. And this is a fly ball to left field. Braun makes the catch. So the Rockies rally with 2 outs. 3 singles in a row produce a run. Top of the second, Prince Fielder will lead it off. The Rockies will adjust their infield. They'll put Troy Tulowitzki on the right side. This is game number 159 for both clubs. For Prince Fielder, this is game number 159. There's only been 4 players in the history of the Brewers to play in all 162. This kid's going to do it. Here's the 1-0. That is a little bit low. 2-0. Carlos Lee did it in 2005. El Caballo. Richie Sexton in 03. Gorman Thomas back in 1980. And Robin Yount did it as well in 1988. Ground ball up the middle. Base hit. Get a Mike Shaw auto update with Mark Stout. Mark, how you doing?
Doing well. Drew, George, you were talking about Clint Barmas earlier and about how he's a little bit disappointed in his numbers this season. I had a lengthy conversation with him in the clubhouse before the game, and I said, give me a word to describe this season for you. And I was surprised when his answer was, it has been a grind. And I said, really? You look at the numbers. You're 3rd on the team in home runs, and you're 4th in RBIs and stolen bases. You've made plays in the field. And he said, you know what? But my at-bats have been a grind. And when you're up there pitch in and pitch out, trying to make things happen, as this is bloop to left, to right.
They're going to get a double play on this. Oh, throw is off, and Iannetta was not backing up.
Well, he had caught everybody by surprise. I'm not sure where Chris went. I'm not sure where the throw went from Brad Hop.
That's unusual. Brad not only has a very strong arm, but a very accurate arm. Brad's going to get an error allowing him to move up. Prince Fielder would have been doubled up.
He had gotten way off of the bag. He was about halfway to second base when this ball got into the outfield of Brad Hop. Brad Hop gets a great move on the baseball. Big swinger at the plate. Comes in to get it. Now watch Hop when he catches this on the run. That may have caused a little bit of the cut on the baseball. Helton didn't appear to be able to see the baseball either. That zipped by him pretty quick, because normally Todd will come off the bag to go try to catch this baseball. Then as you look and see where it goes, typically your catcher's going to be in a direct line of where the throw's coming from the outfield, and Iannetta wasn't there.
So with 1 out, a runner in scoring position for Mike Cameron, and he hits a pop up in the direction of Helton. Todd has it, 2 outs. You know, I would say this, just following up on what Mark Stout was reporting. I think if you polled every hitter in baseball, 95% of them, even the guys like Todd Helton, who hit 320 every year, they'd say it's a grind. I mean,
well, it's 162 games. I mean, it's a long time.
And day in and day out, swinging against the top pitchers in the world. Even for the great ones.
Well, you know,
they're going to fail, as has often been said, 7 out of 10 times. Mark, why don't you finish up, because we jumped in there on the fly ball.
You know, the only thing that I'll say that he continued to say, Barmas did, was that he feels he has a lot more to offer to this team. And I said, well, the good thing is, hopefully you're going to be able to do that in the month of October, where we're at now.
Ground ball, base hit. Now Fielder's not going to try to score on Spilborghs. 1st and 3rd, and that'll bring up Kendall.
Well, I think the other thing you factor into this, and it's hard to factor it in, but a lot of things you factor into this is also the travel, the times you get into hotels at 3 in the morning and play the very next day. You have time off in all the other sports to prepare for those things, but not in baseball. It's basically a 12-month job that you have, even though games played April through October. How about this? Chris Carpenter today, the Cardinals are leading 12-0 in Cincinnati. So you think Pujols had a big day. You think Holiday, Ludwig, some of those guys. Nope. It was Chris Carpenter, a grand slam, 6 RBIs. He threw 3 hits, no runs given up in the game, but 2 for 3 with a grand slam. If you're wondering, the most RBIs by a pitcher in a ball game, Tony Collinger, 9 versus Atlanta at 66.
Open in on Kendall. That hit him?
Where did it hit him? On a whisker?
Where did that get him?
Not sure.
Well, that's scary because it was head high. Where did Jason get it? You know what it did?
Shoulder.
It got the shoulder. He got the shoulder.
Yep, got the lead shoulder. Sure did.
Well, the bases are loaded. That's bad news. The good news is the pitcher's up. But as I said when we did the lineup last inning, Parra's a good athlete. I mean, the average isn't great, but the report is he can swing the bat.
Well, 1 for 6. I mean, you know, it's when you start to look at those numbers, how many at bats he's had on the season? Not many. 6 hits, excuse me. This year for him, 1 or 2 of those have been a double. Well, you got to take the attitude when the starting pitcher's at the plate. If he's got that big club in his hand, he's got a chance to do something if he makes contact. Go at him just like a regular hitter.
Now you're just talking about Chris Carpenter, who went Little League today. Two and one. Rockies got a run in the first on 3 consecutive 2-out singles. Brewers have them loaded with 2 outs, and the pitcher, Manny Parra, up there. Here's the 2-1. And this ball is lifted to shallow left, and Spilborghs is there. No harm done. We'll go to the bottom of the second. Brad Hoff will hit first. Rockies up 1-0.
AAA.
Time for our E470 Road Ahead. 3 ball games left after this afternoon at Dodger Stadium in LA. The Dodgers are off today. Again, we set the table for you. If the Rockies win today, they will clinch no worse than the wild card. And if they were to sweep out, win the next 4 ball games, they would win the National League West for the first time ever. They lead right now 1-0 with George Frazier and Mark Stout. I'm Drew Goodman. Manny Parra finishing his warm-up pitches. It'll be Brad Hopp, Clint Barmas, Aaron Cook. Cook's got the mohawk going. Look at that.
Well, he told me he wanted to match the haircut that his son got. So they sat down together, got the haircut. Told him I could have saved him at least $25. I could do that.
How do you know Holly didn't do the haircut?
I don't think so. I think it was at the barber shop.
With Brad Hopp, a .285 career average, hitting .285 this year. 21 home runs, 83 driven in. And he takes strike 1 from Parra. 31 pitches in that first inning, George.
Well, a lot of pitches. Obviously, he had some situation trying to work out of it after 2 very quick outs.
He struck out Fowler and Spilborghs. And then Helton got a hit against him. Tulowitzki on a 3-2 pitch hit a rocket up the middle. And then Atkins a bloop single to the left. 2-1 on the patient Brad Hopp. Talking to Brad before the ball game, I said, "Is the adrenaline flow anymore in a ball game like this?" And he says, "You know what? Because you play so many, we know it's, we know the situation, but you just go out and play." I think baseball players become so conditioned to that.
You do. You don't worry about it. I mean, you know, the thing is, you're going to play the game today regardless. The only way you're not going to play is you have a snowstorm or rain. You're going to play the game. You know, just go out and play the game. I think so many people get tied up in that last performance. What did he do the last outing? What did he do his last at bat? Or he's been struggling for a week. Well, you know, if you go out and try to perform, to put it in street perspective, 600 times in a 6-month span, and if you failed 400 times, you get fired. Here you go to the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. Two and two on Hopp. And Parra with his 3rd strikeout. Take a look at our decks this date in history. The Rockies back in '95 become the first major league team to reach the postseason before their 7th year of existence. They do it in their 3rd year. They also become the National League's first wild card winner with a 10-9 win over San Francisco. Barmes takes a strike. This date in history brought to you by Dex. Dex knows. I'll tell you about the recent history of the wild card. Actually, the all-time history of the wild card. Wild card teams to make the World Series. There have been plenty of them. The Rockies 2 years ago, and they lost, as we know, to the Red Sox. Detroit made it in '06 and lost. Houston in '05 made it and lost to the White Sox. Boston in '04, when they ended the drought, they were a wild card team. The Yankees won the division. Outside, 2-2. Florida, when they won their 2nd World Series in '03, a wild card team. Anaheim in '02 beat the Giants. Both of those clubs were the wild card teams. The Florida Marlins, when they won the 1st World Series in '97, a wild card team. McGee and now Escobar battling the sun and the wind. And the Mets, when they lost to the Yankees in the Subway Series in 2000, they were a wild card team.
Hey, let me tell you, the best way to get a season ticket or get a postseason ticket, put a deposit down on season tickets for next year. That's right. Put it down on 2010 season tickets. It guarantees you some postseason tickets. Deposit guarantees priority World Series games at Coors Field. Call 303 or go online to ColoradoRockies.com.
Looking up on the afternoon scoreboard, George, the Minnesota Twins won't go away. They're beating Detroit in that last game of the 4-game set 7-1. The Detroit has a 3-game lead. If Minnesota hangs on, it's the 8th inning, they hang on and win that ball game. The lead is cut to 2. The Twins have the Royals this weekend, and Detroit has the pesky Chicago White Sox.
Well, I don't think anything about Kansas City Royals if you get Zach Greinke for one of those starts.
And word is he is going to throw. So that makes it a little more difficult, but still not impossible. It's not done yet. Detroit's magic number is 1. 3-0, ball 4 on Aaron Cook.
Well, one of the big things you're going to battle is if you go in, and Kansas City Royals are really going to battle playing in the Metrodome. It's the last 3 baseball games to be played unless they get into the playoffs. That is the last 3 games to ever be played in the Metrodome, and that is a huge home field advantage.
And the Rockies next year, George, will travel to the new stadium.
Should be fun. I know that it can be warm. Better take your jackets in April.
In April? So
in September.
Yeah, well, we don't have to worry about that.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm just talking about fans that want to go and watch a ball game in the new ballpark.
Breaking ball in there, strike 1 on Dexter Fowler. Dexter struck out swinging his first time. 2 outs, Cook at first. Rockies scored a 2-out run in the first to take a 1-0 lead. This ball is ripped to McGee, who gloved it. An Adam ball. 2 innings complete, Rockies 1, and the Brew Crew nothing. Is 1. Wins for kids. You know the program, I'm sure. The Rockies and FSN Rocky Mountain have been heavily involved over the last few years. Proceeds benefit the Children's Hospital and Prader-Willi Syndrome Association. And we appreciate all of your donations. The way to donate is to go to ColoradoRockies.com. Wins for kids. In the third inning, leading off will be Felipe Lopez from Milwaukee. They're top of the order. Felipe hit a fly ball to Dexter Fowler, leading off the ball game. Takes a sinker away. Ball 1. Left center field, and Spivort, who always seems to get a good jump, makes the catch. 1 out. Jody Garrett will be coming up. It is amazing how this September is unfolded. Not only are the Rockies on the cusp of making the playoffs, but George, as I said earlier, and we chatted about last night, they have a chance to be the #1 seed. And here's what has to happen. The Phillies have 1 ball game left today with Houston. Then they play the Marlins for 3. Marlins been playing pretty well. St. Louis is going to win their 91st today. They're up 12-0 in the 9th inning. The Rockies are sitting on 90. So if the Rockies win out, they can reach 94 victories. The Phillies are in the driver's seat, the defending world champs, to have the best record in the National League. But if they falter a little bit this weekend, it is not impossible at all, if the Rockies have a great weekend in L.A., that lo and behold, the Rockies become the #1 seed in the National League.
And the greatest part about that, you have home field advantage playing in your ballpark with your fans with you. To me, that is the biggest thing. Yeah, I saw the shot right at Atkins, playing up in front of the bag. Snap throw over to first base.
Good play by Garrett. On the hard hit ball by Garrett. Did you like that, George?
Yes, I did.
Garrett to Garrett?
Yes. That was good.
Okay.
Garrett to Todd?
Garrett to Todd, but the Todd thing didn't really work. So
that's why I left him out.
I understand. Ryan Braun struck out on a slider his first time up to end the first inning. 2 outs, nobody on. Braun out of the 3-hole. Leading the National League in hits along with Hanley Ramirez. They both have 196. Of course, the Rockies, if they did pull that off, would win the NL West for the first time ever, and it would be just the second time ever that they finished ahead of the LA Dodgers. 17 years. The Dodgers have finished ahead of the Rockies 15 of the first 16.
Yeah, it's a statement that you're making. I think that's the key to it, is your statement all around baseball. And a lot of times, we look at ball clubs and what they've done and the growth of an organization. It says a lot about the Rockies.
And a bouncing ball to second. Barnes with the play. An 8-pitch inning for Aaron Cook. Middle of 3. Rockies up 1-0. Hawk has thrown shutout baseball so far. Rockies up 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the 3rd. If the Rockies go to the postseason, they're on the cusp of achieving that. We will be there. Rockies pre- and post-game reports throughout the divisional playoffs right here on FSN Rocky Mountain, as we did a couple of years ago. We will look forward to that. Ryan Spilborghs, Todd Helton, Troy Tulowitzki, and Manny Parra. And that bounces up to the plate. Jason Kendall saying, you know what, I got enough off my forearms last night. Let's
had a little work on blocking
keep the ball
balls.
airborne.
Yeah, thought it was a spring training last night. Off the old machine, making sure you keep balls in front of you.
Two balls and no strikes on Spilborghs. And 3-0. Now, one of the issues, George, for Manny Parra has been command, and he's thrown 53 pitches. Now 54.
Yeah,
he's had 28 in the zone, 26 out of the zone.
If he just stays online, I mean, that's the biggest thing you hear Bob Apodaca talk about with different pitchers from the Rockies. Jim Wright, one thing they've really worked hard on.
And third base hit for Spilborghs. One out, Todd Helton coming up. If you have a problem with your windshield, the folks to call, Elite Safelite Auto Glass. Give them a ring at 303-287-5000. Visit them online at safelite.com. Helton started that rally in the 1st inning. 2 outs, nobody on. He singled. Tulowitzki followed with a single, and then Atkins a single. Outside, ball 1. Todd 14 for 31, a .452 average on this homestand. And if the Rockies win today, they'll finish the regular season at 51-30 at Coors Field. Not the best mark they've ever had at Coors Field. One year back in '96, they won 55 games here. But You win 50+ at home. That's a heck of a year. And the Rockies have already broken their all-time road record because they have 40 wins on the road this year against 38 defeats. The previous best was 39. Got to build on that when they hit LA.
Yeah, absolutely. You will go in there and you're going to have Jimenez going, then De La Rosa, and then Marquis. 3 of your top going on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and a chance to win the pennant. I mean, to win the National League West. That would be huge.
We know this much. On Friday, Randy Wolf, who's been very good, is scheduled to throw for Los Angeles. Beyond that, we're not sure from LA's
Well, they've had a lot of struggles with everybody else in the rotation. Health issues, not being able to win. Chad Billingsley has been in and out of the bullpen. He started a game. He got knocked out of a lot of games. He was so good early. Just don't know if it's the arm's tired. Does it hurt?
Kershaw's been a roller coaster ride, and then he ran into a wall shagging baseballs a few weeks back and hurt his right shoulder. He's a left-handed pitcher. It's strange because the Dodgers have a terrific ball club, yet for years and years, when you thought of the Dodgers, you always felt like their excellence began with their starting rotation. This year, that's not really the case. It's more their lineup and their bullpen.
Yeah, the bullpen's very good. Under Jim, you know, you mentioned those numbers at home. How about this under Jim Tracy? 43 and 17 at home under Mr. Tracy. That is dominance.
You think?
Just 71% winning percentage, 71.6666 if you want to be exact.
2-2 on Todd. Objective swing, 3-2. Parra's 60 pitches in with nobody out in the 3rd inning. At that rate, he's not long for the ball game.
Good deal for expanded rosters.
See if they put Spilborghs in motion. There he goes. Ball 4. 2 on for Tulowitzki.
It's hard to throw 60 pitches in 3 innings and not have anybody out in the 3rd one.
He's done it.
Well, I know, but I mean, it's just, you know, to be in the big leagues and do that with the kind of stuff he has. I can understand if you got a nitpick because you throw 80. He didn't throw 80.
Tulowitzki, a line drive single to center in the 1st inning. And a line drive to left. Drawn to the baseball. Here comes Spilborghs with the Rockies' 2nd run. 2-0 Colorado. And that is RBI number 90 for Troy Tulowitzki.
Before balls up into the strike zone, balls in on Tulowitzki, it seemed to give him fits. You could throw the ball by him. But the streak he has been on of late has been simply amazing. The ability to read a pitch. That ball started to cut to the inside, his front side open, get the bad head out, and just scalded that thing to left field. Remember, in this ball game, he stole his 20th base, a milestone. 90th RBI, another milestone.
His rookie year, he drove in 99 with 24 home runs and hit 291. Atkins, bloop single to drive in a run in the 1st. He takes 1-1. Helton at 2nd, Tulowitzki at 1st. It bounces up there, and Kendall keeps it around the plate. We're talking about the possibility of Troy hitting 300 after that last hit. He's now at 298. This ball is driven to right field and deep, and it is a fair ball. This could score two. Tulowitzki's going to get a stop sign, though. Richie Dower's going to hold them up. Well played in that right field corner by Jody Garrett. Garrett Atkins is 2 for 2. 3-0 Colorado.
You know, part of this holding him up at third base, and again, this is a little bit of a guess of mine, but if you end up having a tight play at the plate, this is not a spot. You're already up 3-0. Guy's struggling. He's throwing 66 pitches. You can see on the Hyundai cam this pitch up. Atkins insides. The baseball takes it to the right side and very deep with some authority to drive in this run of Todd Helton. And for Atkins, his second RBI at 47 on the season now. But why force an issue or a play at the plate where you have an injury? You're up 3-0. The guy's struggling. You're getting ready to get into the bullpen. And you got some guys coming up behind you that are RBI guys. Hold them up.
I would agree with you, and this is a wonderful sign for Jim Tracy. You notice the last few starts against left-handers, it has not been Ian Stewart, it's been Garrett Atkins. And first and foremost, Jim Tracy needs to win games now. He understands that. But he also knows that if the Rockies play Philadelphia, they are going to see a number of left-handed starters. And he has been quite frank in saying, we need Garrett Atkins, we need Ryan Spilborghs, because we have a left-handed dominated team.
And they may end up being a 21-out player. They may be an 18-out player. If they have a lead in the 6th and 7th inning and you're comfortable with the way the game's going, you switch out and put in your best defense, which Tracy has done with both Spilborghs and Atkins, and set it up the way they wanted to have it, as they do with Dexter Fowler a lot in the 7th and 8th inning.
Iannetta hit a fly ball to left. 2 in scoring position, nobody out. It's 2-0. The other nice thing about that Atkins double, George, he used the other side of the field, which he used to do with such great regularity. 3-0. Hop is on deck. For Chris Iannetta, he's done a lot of spectating and cheerleading in the month of September. Just 12 at-bats and 5 hits. And now in October, he is starting in the finale of this series against Milwaukee. So the bases are loaded after the intentional pass, and Brad Hopp will step up. Brad struck out swinging an inning ago. Nobody up in the Milwaukee bullpen.
See, that's what's amazing me. I mean, it's kind of like watching a rookie ball game in the minor leagues. Just make sure he gets his 90 pitches regardless of results, and then get him out of the ball game. As a team, the Rockies have excelled. 36 for 112 this year. They've hit 5 grand slams and driven in 117 runs and 112 at bats. It's impressive. 321 average in this spot as a ball club. Brad Hopp on the season, with the bases loaded, has struggled compared to the ball club. .214 average.
I think the phone just rang down in Milwaukee's pen. Here's the 1-1 on Brad. Fouled off the facade of the top deck, 1-2. The Rockies have been to the postseason twice, and each time they have clinched the date, October the 1st. Seth McClung. Today is October the 1st. Wow, that hit his hand.
I thought he hit off the knob of the bat. Brad didn't go anywhere. It is a foul ball. Hit right off of it, but depending on how you hold the bat, obviously you get the fat part of your hand underneath on the outside of it over the lap of the knob. Let's watch. It's going to tell you right here. So you can barely see the knob of the bat. It obviously caught the fat side of that hand on Brad Hopp.
Scotty Garrett going, hey, does it hurt right there?
Isn't it amazing when, you know, where did you get hit? Right here, and they start pressing on it. Is that where it hurts? Yeah, it's right where the ball hit. I just told you.
What can you do for me? Nothing.
Nothing. Just, you know, see if you can grip a bat. You can hit. Okay, you're done.
Jim Tracy asking Jim Joyce how the family is. Buying some time for his player. I'm sure he was asking about whether it hit the bat first. Or excuse me, hit the hand before the bat. That's almost impossible for an umpire to make that call, I would think. 1-2. Strike 3.
See, you get one right on the knob of the hand, and then he throws you a yellow hammer right at you. It's exactly what happened. And one few times he's been able to throw the curveball for a strike, and it was more to the middle of the plate. Watch how Kendall's going to come back to the ball on the Hyundai cam to catch this ball. He wanted it on the lower half and outside. First out here in the third.
Clint Barmas fouled out to the shortstop. His first time up. Outside, ball 1. 76 pitches in. Manny Parra.
Been a lot of pitches seen, particularly in the first and then here in the third. 26 in the third, 31 in the first.
2-0. Hitter's paradise, bases loaded, a 2-0 count to work with for Clint Barmas.
And there's Chris Bosio taking over for Billy Castro when he came to the big leagues as the pitching coach of this ball club. A lot of these young pitchers had him throughout the minor league system.
Barmas picked it up of late. 353 average over his last 34 at bats. And he had a pitch to handle there. 2-2. Barnes is way out in front of a breaking ball, and now there are 2 outs and the base is still loaded. It'll be left to Aaron Cook.
A hard breaking ball that he placed down in the strike zone and got Barnes well out on his front foot.
You know, Parra, George, in my mind, may have been 1 pitch from hitting the showers, and now he's a quality pitch away from keeping his club in this baseball game in the first part. It's 3-0. A base hit would have made it 5-0. 2-0.
Well, they walked Cook the last time he was up.
Cook didn't see a strike, in fact.
Hadn't seen one yet. 6 straight.
Tulowitzki, Atkins, Ionetta all on board. Ball 3. Jason Kendall is going to go out and remind Manny Parra, see that guy at the plate, 28? You know what he does? He's the pitcher. Doesn't hit for a living. Cook's going to get 2 take signs, I'm guessing. Here's the first. You give it to him again, George?
Well, I would. I mean, the kid's struggling, obviously, to throw strikes. It's 2 outs, 3-1 count. Make him throw it, turn him loose on a 3-2 count.
Well, you got the first 2 in there. So now it's 3-2. Runners will be moving. 3-2, 2 outs, bases loaded. Ball 4. Aaron Cook walks, that forces in a run. 4-0 Colorado. And Dexter Fowler coming up. How many times do you see that? A pitcher bears down a difficult situation. He gets two tough hitters. The pitcher comes up, and it's like he loses his concentration.
Total focus, and then, well, what happens is pitchers don't hit well anyway. So a lot of times they don't swing at high fastballs or breaking balls in the dirt, and you find yourself in a hole. And as a young kid, you start to pinch that baseball a little bit harder and find the strike zone more difficult to get it in.
Dexter ripped a line drive to third his last time up. Takes strike one.
Dexter liked to get off the snide with the bases loaded in his big league career. He's 0 for 5 so far.
No swing. Jerry Davis has the gloves on. Cool afternoon. Autumn has arrived in the Rocky Mountain region. And with autumn comes postseason baseball. That was boxed by Kendall. Didn't get far enough away that Atkins could come home. 2-1. Jason Kendall's a tough guy. I don't know a catcher who's not a tough guy. He's had surgery on his foot. He's had difficulty with his hand. He was showing me his hand the other day. He has an ugly scar on it from hand surgery. George, he has very limited movement in his hand and a couple of his fingers on the left side. 3-1 on Dexter.
As many games as he's caught at the big league level, and over the shorter time of fame, 14 years in the big leagues, 34 years old.
It's another reason he's lost the pop that he had earlier in his career. 3-1. Ball 4. Here comes another run. 5-0 Colorado, and that'll be all for Parra. Ken Maka. That ball wasn't even across home plate before he had his turf shoe out on the dirt.
And I'd be very surprised. I'm very, very surprised Ken Maka didn't come get him after the walk to Aaron Cook to force in the run. Put him up 5-0. I mean, the kid, regardless, you just can't do it. You can't leave him out here. 91 pitches? That's horrible. 6 hits by the Rockies, 5 runs. Have fun with that one.
5-zip Colorado. Five nothing. We believe. I know you believe. It's been interesting, George. Parra, you said 91 pitches in 2 2/3. Not very good. Spilborg's coming up to face McClung. They don't, for this time of year, they don't have a lot of arms down in their bullpen.
They got 12, and I know some of those guys have been put back a little bit. When you're talking about a regular season bullpen of 7, some of clubs only have 6 if they got an 11-man staff. Well, you got 12 guys sitting down in that bullpen. There may be some young kids that you don't want to put in this game because you have the integrity of the game you worry about. You know, for me, you got to get out and you got to be able to play the game and go out and play the game right. And it's the kid obviously could not throw strikes. 47 balls, 44 strikes.
Swung on and missed. Spilborghs tried to ambush Seth McClung with that first pitch fastball. One and one. Spilborghs started the inning with a base hit. 10th man to swing the bat here in the third inning. 5-0 Colorado. Two and one.
Well, obviously a lot of big moments for Ryan Spilborghs. 3 for 9 with the bases loaded. None bigger than the grand slam he hit off of the San Francisco Giants. He has 11 RBIs in those 9 at-bats with the bases loaded.
That's in there, 2-2. Spilborghs against McClung. McClung originally drafted by Tampa back in 1999 in the 5th round. Reached the big leagues with Tampa in 2003. Well, that fastball out over the plate. He was all over it. Fouled it straight back. 2-2. With a win today against Milwaukee, George, the Rockies will shut out the Brewers in 2009. They'll take the match 6 love. He went around. So McClung comes out of the bullpen and gets the 3rd out. But the Rockies trot across the plate 4 times with a lot of help from Parra. He walked 2 in. Things look good. 5-0 Rockies.
To the Aflac trivia question for this Rocktober the 1st. Of course, you know that the Rockies clinched their playoff berths in '95 and 2007 on this day. I know you remember the games. Do you remember the winning pitchers in those 2 contests? Give that some thought. We'll have the answers coming up. Drew, George?
That's a good question, Mark. Thank you. Prince Fielder with a base hit his first time up. Fouls that pitch off. Aaron Cook 3 scoreless innings so far, so now 8 scoreless innings since his return from the disabled list with a shoulder strain.
We always have concern. When a guy on a cool temperature day like today, and then you have to sit for that long period of time, you know, as you wait to come back out and pitch again. Although the fortunate side of that was he got to swing the bat a little bit, run the bases a little bit.
Stay warm, right?
Yep, stay warm. Keep the arm warm more than anything. Keep the shoulder warm. Not so much the body, but it is the shoulder, that the part that was bothering.
One and two on Prince Fielder, who makes his off-season home in the Orlando area. Strike 3. A hip side sinker. Prince going to hang around, talk to Jim Joyce. That is strikeout number 2.
Anytime you get a left-hander, the crowd's played big swinger, you can throw it right at him. See that hip flex straight back? They think that ball's coming in and it's going to catch him. So look, watch how they go back on the Hyundai cam. You're going to check. They're going to think they're getting hit with the baseball. But what you have to do as a catcher is believe the ball's going to come back to you. Don't reach for it. Let it come and square the body, and you'll get that pitch called a strike. Arnetta did a really good job receiving that ball.
Casey McGee at the plate, 1-0. In the air to right center field. Brad Hopp. Now the wind taking it over to Brad, right straight up right field. Even though Dexter Fowler had come on over. 2 outs. Our exemplar injury report. Look at how healthy, knock on wood, everybody, the Rockies rotation has been this year. Aaron Cook, the only member of the rotation that has missed any time.
Well, I'm not sure there's another rotation in baseball that's been as healthy as this rotation.
It's brought to you by the Exemplar Lutheran Medical Center.
A little bit more on that is you look back. Shashin made 1 start, Contreras 2, Fogg 1, Rogers 1, and Marquis 1. Or excuse me, Morales 2. So they, you know, this starting staff has been together, and a result of that, and it's an obvious result. You look at innings pitched among the starting staff, and it bears out saying it. A couple of guys close to 200. A couple of guys, you know, Cook missed a ton of starts. He's at 150. He worked deep into games. 182 for De La Rosa. And then the other 2 guys in the rotation for me, Jimenez and Marquis, both at 200 innings. 212 each in 32 starts. That's consistency.
3 balls and a strike on Mike Cameron. We were discussing this last night with Jim Tracy after the ball game. Mike Cameron has to be seeing the ball really well, George, because a number of pitches that are close that he normally swings at, he's let pass. Good play by Garrett Atkins. A 1-2-3 inning for the 3rd time in 4 innings for Aaron Cook. 5-0. Good guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Colorado Rockies would like to thank Jeff Kingery for 17 years of outstanding service as the voice of the Rockies on 850 KOA. The Rockies will be presenting Jeff with a framed, personalized jersey commemorating his 17 years in the booth. Our thanks to you, Jeff. Congratulations.
And from us, an enormous congratulations on 17 wonderful years. Back with George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. Jeff Kingery is an outstanding broadcaster. First and foremost, he's been a great friend to you and I through the years, and I've known Jeff back when he did the Nuggets, and we overlapped for a period of time there. 11 years doing the Nuggets. He did the Bears prior to that, and then 17 years in the booth following the Colorado Rockies. A true professional and a good man.
Well, he's a great man. He's represented not only the Rockies, but the game of baseball the way it should be represented on air. And for me, for when he's been out there and been a friend of mine, and obviously talking about a lot of the ball games that go on, the late dinners after ball games, and discussing plans, and I know that he and his wonderful bride are going to have a lot to do in retirement. Enjoy it. With the home in Tucson, they'll still be around the ballpark. You will be able to see Jeff Kingery around, and you know that's. I'm going to tell you, you're going to miss him. This guy's a very good guy and a very good broadcaster, and it's a shame to see him go. But he says it's time. It's time.
You know, and Jeff has a lot more to do in his career and his life. He and Merle, as you mentioned, they'll be traveling around quite a bit. Jeff is an accomplished writer. He and Jack do a lot of writing, and he has worked on a number of screenplays. He has a couple in the process of putting the finishing touches on, and we're going to miss Jeff, but we know he's going to be around, and we tip our cap to Jeff Kingery. 17 marvelous years in the booth, a good friend, and he's been a great broadcaster of the Rockies. Todd Helton is gone in the 4th inning, and Troy Tulowitzki will be next to face Seth McClung in relief of Manny Parra, who went just 2 2/3 and gave up 5 runs. Tulowitzki's 2 for 2. He's got the average at 298. With 3.5 ball games left. Chance to hit 300 for the young superstar. Here's the 2-0. On triple T, Troy, Trevor, Tulowitzki. You didn't know that, did you, George?
I just know he doesn't like to be called Trevor, so I never did it.
Troy, still 9 days from his 25th birthday. And he'll go to first with the walk. Let's check in again with Mark Stackett and answer that Affleck trivia question. Mark?
All right, Drew, here's the question. I know that you know that the Rockies on October the 1st, this date, got into the playoffs in 95 and 07. Do you know the winning pitchers in those games? The starters, by the way, in 95, Brett Saberhagen. In 07, it was Josh Fogg. Here are the winning pitchers. In 95, Lance Painter came in and threw 2 pitches to Marvin Bernard in the 5th inning. Got him to fly out to left. Rockies rallied. He was the pitcher of record. They win the game 10-9 over the Giants. In 07, the winning pitcher was the 10th pitcher used by Clint Hurdle and the Rockies. It was the 10th game that he pitched for the Rockies that season, and he threw all of 10 pitches. And the answer to that question is Ramon Ortiz, who the Rockies that year traded for from the Twins on August the 15th. He ended 84 and 80 in his career. That was his last game. That October the 1st game against San Diego, he was the winner. So it's Lance Painter and Ramon Ortiz, the answer to those. And Leskanic saved the first game, no save in the second one, guys.
Well, hopefully Aaron Cook is the answer to that trivia question when you ask it next year. Mark, going back to the 07 ball game, Ramon Ortiz was picked up in mid-August, and to be honest, he was not very effective for the Rockies, and it was almost a footnote to history, and I'm glad you brought this out, because after Scott Hairston hit the home run and it looked dismal for the Rockies against the Padres late on that night in game number 163, Ortiz gets the final outs and allows the Rockies a chance, as opposed to that inning really spiraling out of control. And it was one of the few times he had been real effective in pitching for the Rockies. He got the win. It's a great way to close out his career. Atkins 2 for 2, single and a double. He's driven in 2 runs. 1 out. Tulowitzki at first base. Strike 3. So McClung has struck out 3 of the first 4 he has faced. Not letting anybody else play. Walked 1, struck out 3.
Now, a hard slider that he puts to the outer half of the plate. Get a guy to give up on the ball because you fed a lot of fastballs out into that area. Monday, Cam, you can see a great rotation of the baseball in the way that the ball was caught by Jason Kendall behind the plate.
Chris Ionette at the plate. Fly ball left field and an intentional walk after Parra had fallen behind him 3-0. Parra walked 5. Gave up 6 hits.
Time for new leather. Either that or Jason just said, you know, I'm done. I've had enough. I'm leaving. I caught 100 pitches so far. I'm done. Actually, it's been 112. I'm done. No, just get a new glove.
You know what? Last night I thought he should go to the dugout, replace the shin guards with hockey pads. Any balls that he had to try to block. Become a butterfly catcher, right? So George, that's your reference, you know, goaltenders and hockey. I know you're a big hockey guy.
Not really. Didn't grow up around it, though.
Springfield never had a minor league hockey team?
No.
They have one now?
St. Louis, 3 hours away. No. Tulsa does.
Here's the 1-0. They play at that new arena, that hockey team in Tulsa?
They played, yes, they played the BOK Arena. By the way, the WNBA may be coming there. They hired the coach a couple of days ago, Nolan Richardson, former Arkansas coach, going to take it over.
40 minutes of you-know-what for those ladies.
That's going to be interesting.
Outside 2-1. Chris has 64 hits this year. Half of them have been of the extra base variety. Rockies up 5-0 as they hit in the 4th inning. Aaron Cook put 4 bagels up on the scoreboard, has allowed just 2 hits. Tulowitzki takes off for second on the hit and run. It's 2-2. Tulowitzki earlier in the ball game stole third base. It was his 20th bag of the year. He keeps doing this, George. He's going to have, you know, an extra large baseball card. Fills up every category.
Special kind of player, special guy to watch. They come around about once every 20 years. Jim Tracy and I were talking about that today before a ball game. Guys like Tulowitzki, Pujols, Todd Helton, Ubaldo Jimenez's arms like that don't come around about once every 20 years. You happen to get lucky and catch one. Same thing with Tulowitzki as a shortstop. You get that type of player.
Now Milwaukee feels they have that type of player in Prince Fielder. Also in Ryan Braun. Fielder and Tulowitzki. 2 young leaders. Tulowitzki, as we mentioned, won't be 25 for another 10 days, 9 days to be exact. Prince Fielder's just 25. You know what, Tulowitzki, remember after the ball game last night, on the post-game show, he said, you know, we're coming around, we're playing good ball. He said, but we have to throw more strikes because I'm going to get after the pitching staff. And it wasn't tongue-in-cheek. He was being serious. And very few guys have the ability, the leadership to say that publicly, and very few guys, I think, you know, have earned the right to say something like that.
Yeah, the key is to earn the right to say that and take over as more as a captain of a ball club.
By the way, that's 7 walks now allowed by the Milwaukee staff. And we're in the 4th inning. Brad Hopp, 0 for 2, a couple punch outs. Brad hitting .298 against right-handed pitching. It's 42 doubles, the most among any left-handed hitter in the league.
No, we talk about it a lot, Drew, with Brad Hopp. You talk about it with any player in the game. They're going to come back to career numbers. He's at career numbers. He's a .285 career hitter. He's hitting .284. 21 home runs, 83 RBIs. He had the one big year in RBIs. But other than that, he's averaged about 85 every year. He's at 84 right now. 83, excuse me.
1-2. I think when that became in vogue, George, for guys on big league rosters to wear spring training like numbers when you're a young player in the 70s. Turk Wendell wore 99.
Well, that really didn't come in until around after 2000 that they actually wore high numbers on the field during the regular season.
McClung with a high fastball strikes out Hopp for the 3rd time. He's got 4 strikeouts, McClung. 5-0 Rockies. Dealers, take a look at the 5-star safety rated all-wheel drive Hyundai Santa Fe. You get more for less at your Colorado Hyundai dealers. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Dex, take the sport out of finding local information with Dex in print and online at dexknows.com. Cook to Alcides Escobar, ball 1. Escobar, the shortstop, hits out of the 7-hole for Milwaukee. He had a base hit through the left side of the infield in the 2nd inning. The only other hit for Milwaukee, a Prince Fielder single. Deep short, on the move. Nice pick.
You know, had a lot of conversation about Todd Helton, the number of errors saved at first base. And again, that's a ball that he scoops out of the dirt at first base. Todd Helton has the 2nd least amount of errors of a first baseman, 3 this year behind LaRoche. To think of how many times, folks, over his course of the season at Coors Field and on the road that you've seen Todd Helton do just that. Look at that concentration, focus, the scoop of it with the big glove and the out. So all of that on the Hyundai cam. This guy has saved, I guarantee you, at a minimum 30 this year. Why are you kicking me?
because you did an unfair thing a little while ago.
What did I do?
Well,
I didn't do that.
In there. We have it, folks. We have a little space heater down below our feet because it is chilly sitting out here in the elements today. It's beautiful, but it's a little chilly. And it was on. This is on the ground at Tulowitzki. Easier play. 2 outs. George just turned it and locked it off on himself, and I didn't know for 2 innings. I was really starting to get cold. Now I look down, he's got a little giggle going. Milwaukee's going to go to the bench. This is Corey Patterson. We haven't seen him in a while. Went over to the American League, George. Was with Baltimore for a little bit, former Chicago Cub.
I remember he went over to Cincinnati with Dusty, too, for about a year and a half and just didn't pan out. Didn't play well, didn't perform what they thought he could do, so Corey was moved to Baltimore, and then now over here to Milwaukee.
Thought he had a good year with the Orioles a couple years ago. Talented guy, you know, he's a lean guy, but he's really strong. This ball's hit well to left field, and Spilborn reaches up and makes the catch, and then hands a souvenir to a fan. Patterson gave it a ride. Spilborn made a beautiful play and left. 1, 2, 3 inning yet again for Aaron Cook. 5-0 Rockies.
Fifth XL Energy fun fact for this afternoon game against the Brewers has to do with Milwaukee center fielder Mike Cameron, because he has done something only 14 other players in the history of the game has done, and that is hit 4 home runs in a ball game. He did it as a member of the Seattle Mariners, and that was back in 2002. The last time it happened was 2003. His first 4 ABs in that game, it was against the White Sox, all solo homers. Chicago wins it 15-4. They scored 10 in the first. His first home run came off of John Roush, still pitching in the big leagues for the Twins. The other 3 came off of a guy by the name of Jim Parquet. I asked Huey today, Jeff Houston, if he remembered him. He did. Yep, left-hander for the White Sox. Well, the interesting thing about that game, the next day, both Roush and Parquet were opted to the minors. But Mike Cameron, a good guy, said, when you look at the list of people that have done that, Mike Schmidt's on there, Lou Gehrig is on there, only 14 others, 15 people with 4 home runs in one ball game. He did it for Lou Piniello's Mariners back in '02. Guys?
All right, Mark. New pitcher. You want to steal a little cotton candy from that young lady?
Oh, yeah. I always thought the cotton candy should be only purple in Coors Field. But
hey,
it's
don't
blue.
Ask first. I was kidding.
Is that okay if I had a little
Is that
bit
okay? You already did it.
Right.
Did you wash your hands? This ball clubbed to left field, and it's over Brown's head. Garvis in a second with a double.
This played horribly in left field. I understand there's a lot of wind blowing, but it's blowing in. Barmes 32nd double to left field on a ball that's just a shot off of a breaking ball that stayed up into the strike zone. Watch the focus and concentration of Barmes when the pitch gets here. Look at the head, stayed right on it. Hit this ball thinking it's going to be caught in left field. I thought it was going to be caught also, but the wind must have caught it and lifted it enough to get over Braun's glove. But he just kind of jogged back thinking he had it. He just hit a little bit harder than he thought.
So he's bunted in the air, and Prince Fielder grabs it. So Aaron Cook is the first out in the 5th inning. Glad that young lady has her cotton candy back. She's not happy with you, Mark. Nor should she be.
She's eating it about the same way that I did. It's only one way to eat cotton candy. You just got to go for it.
Probably a little neater than you.
Perhaps.
Dexter Fowler at the plate, 0 for 2 and a walk. The walk forced in a run in the 3rd inning. Aaron Cook has walked twice in the ball game. His second walk forced in a run. In fact, after Dexter walked against Manny Parra, Parra had to hand the baseball to his skipper. Axford falls behind 2-0. He pitched in last night's ball game.
Threw the ball very well, too. Good arm.
Here we're talking about their bullpen, George. They shut down Weathers for the year. It looks like Vargas and Villanueva may be done for the year also. And this ball is fouled off.
Well, they started Friday night with 12 guys. Before they got over here, I guess it would have been where they were with this when they started this series. They had 12 guys in their bullpen. They're down to 9 because of the shutdown of the other. But Vargas pitched very well the other night in the ball game. Villanueva pitched well. Of course, Weathers gave up the 2-run shot in extra innings to Ionetta.
And they don't know who they're going to start Saturday. It's that time of year, especially when you're playing out the schedule. But again, it's not like Milwaukee's brought up a ton of young players for a look-see. They really haven't done that. They have a handful. 3-1 on Fowler. Barmes at second. Rockies up 5-0. It's a final. Minnesota, Georgia, has defeated Detroit 8-3. So Detroit still sitting on a magic number of 1, but that will go into the weekend in terms of who wins the AL Central. On the ground to second, Felipe Lopez. 2 outs. Ryan Spilborghs is 1 for 3. He'll take his turn. Another RBI out there for Spilborghs, our Geico quote of the day. You know what? We could fill one up for every day of the year with the Uke. I was offered a job as a coach, a second base coach.
Yeah, it's so much fun to sit around and visit. When he comes to Denver, when you go to Milwaukee, all the old stories, and most of them true. Around Euchre, being pinch hit for by Bob Gibson. Bob Gibson came up, so you go sit down. I'm hitting for you. How do you catch a knuckleball? You just wait till it stops rolling. And there's tons of them with Euchre. I will say this about Euchre. If you have an opportunity traveling around on the radio and you have a chance to listen to him, he is an excellent baseball play-by-play man. One of the best in baseball.
Leadoff double for Barmes. He's at third now, and Kendall's got to find the baseball. Jason, about 4 days away, George, from sitting in the Pacific Ocean near his home in Southern California, just outside Malibu, and he's going to get that body well.
Well, he catches many games as he has, particularly in the beginning of his career. Averaged over 150 games. Loved to be in the lineup every day. Not only that, stole a lot of bases.
Outside on Spilborg's 2-1.
Still calls a great ball game. Will hurt you eventually in a ball game. We've seen that happen. Up until this year, he was leading off an awful lot for his previous ball clubs, the Chicago Cubs.
That's fair ball. Check swing. Kendall jumps on it, and he throws to Prince Fielder. Barmes left at third. 5 innings completed Coors Field. Rockies 4 innings away from the postseason. If they can hang on, they're up 5-zip. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. 6th inning, Felipe Lopez will lead off. Aaron Cook has retired 10 in a row. Last man to reach Jason Kendall, and he was hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning. Lopez takes a strike, 1-1. Swung on and missed. Two on Lopez. Will be a free agent in the offseason. He'll garner quite a bit of interest. He can swing the bat.
And a better second baseman than the errors that he has committed on the year 17.
Yeah, that's a big number for a right side player. Here's the 3-2. Well, George, Jim Tracy, I'm going to be an optimist here. The Rockies will get in. And Jim Tracy and the Rockies baseball side, they'll have tough decisions to make whenever you put a postseason roster together and have to arrive at 25, especially in September when you have the expanded roster. It's on the ground to Atkins, scrambling to his feet. Garrett's throw is picked again by Hilton. He's just showing off, isn't it?
Why not? There's 3 errors on the season for Todd Helton. Why not show off a little bit? Atkins with the dives, got a scramble, gets up, and then a throw over, and Helton once again to the whiskey earlier. This time it is Garrett Atkins. So the ball coming into your picture, and then Helton just making a great pick on this on the Hyundai camp.
Jody Garrett at the plate, 0 for 2, a couple of groundouts, but you're going to have difficult decisions in terms of, you usually shrink your rotation by one. How you assemble your bullpen. Do you go as deep in your bullpen? Another chance for Atkins. He's been busy.
Second time he's been able to get Jody Garrett. But Drew, and all that comes down to it a lot of times too is you don't look at so much performance of what they've done right now, but also what they've done against whoever you're playing.
Sure. And again, we've touched on this before, George. Let's say it's Philadelphia in the opening round. All those left-handed starters, that may change up your thinking offensively, position player-wise. I'll throw a name out there that's probably going to be a difficult decision. A young player that's had an impact in September who brings a real coveted commodity to the ballpark every day, Eric Young Jr., because he can fly. Late in the ball game, pinch run, stolen base in a 3-3 game, or maybe you're a run down.
It depends on how much value you impact that stolen base, because defensively the ball club's going to be pretty much where it is. I mean, you're not going to mess with up the middle at second and short. And those guys are going to be there. The one thing EY does, he can steal a base for you. Is that going to be that big of an impact into the game, or or are you looking at a bat, or you're looking at something else that's going to be a bigger impact and a bigger part of it?
One ball, one strike on Braun. Part of that equation again is how big a pitching staff do you bring into a short series.
Again, that's the other side of it. You got to look at. Do you take 4? Do you take 5 starters? Does the guy go to the bullpen? Do you add a bullpen where a guy's been all year long and accustomed to the job of being into the bullpen? Decision to Jim Tracy, his staff, Dan O'Dowd, Bill Guyvette. I'm sure Billy Schmidt will all be a part of that when it comes time to set those rosters. And it's not a fun, happy decision to make sometimes.
Here's the 1-2 on Braun. A couple other guys that have had really good Septembers, one in particular in a different role than he's held throughout his career. Jose Contreras been good coming out of the bullpen. Matt Belisle has come on.
Look at that, the trees behind out in the bullpen. It is amazing how much the wind is blowing here at Coors Field. Not affecting a lot of right here on the infield, but there it is.
Yeah, that slider got hit a long way. Spielborg jumps, and he's not going to be able to reach it. Ryan Braun hits his 31st home run of the year, and Milwaukee's on the board. It is 5-1. That's the first run allowed by Aaron Cook since his return from the DL. He went 10 2/3, George, without allowing a marker.
Yeah, let me tell you something about Ryan Braun. He hit this ball very well. On any other day, it may have been a long ways up into the seats, but because of this gale force winds coming in from left field, tell you what, Spielborg's almost had a play on the ball. Hyundai Cam slider down and away, good low ball hitter. Obviously visited the sweet part of the bat.
And this is in the air to Spielborg's in shallow left. Well, you just tell, watch the footwork. I mean, the guy's not running smoothly to the ball, kind of stagger stepping because of the velocity of the wind. 5-1. Cam. We win, we're in. one more, then pop the court for October Part 2. I love it. Plenty of signs in the house this afternoon, and a great Thursday afternoon crowd. A lot of folks playing hooky from work. That's okay. Trace Manager of the Year. There's no question. There's a broom also. That was the Frost Brewed Coors Light Freeze Can. Todd Helton is 1 for 2 in a walk. Scored a couple of runs. And Mr. Axford, in his second inning of work, has a swing and a miss. Strike one. Rockies got a run in the first. Helton started the rally with 2 outs with a single. Tulowitzki a single. Then Atkins a single. They got 4 in the third. Rockies have had base runners in every inning. That's a strike. 0-2. George, I'm looking here at around baseball at what teams have done against one division, because the Rockies are 30-11 this year against the Central. And the only record in terms of dominance, well, there's a couple that jump out at you. One, the Yankees against the American League Central, 25-9 this year. That's pretty darn good. And then the Dodgers are 44-25 against the West.
Yeah, they've dominated their division. That's why they are where they are.
You know, against the Central, they're just 22-19. I mean, good record. Close to 500 though. 18-13 against the East. Dodgers have lost 4 in a row. They're off today. St. Louis inside their division has been very good, 45-31. St. Louis will host the Brewers beginning tomorrow. You know what else shouldn't be lost, George? The Rockies, once again, second time in the last 3 years, they've had the best record in interleague play. They went 11-4 against the American League. 2-2. And a base hit for Helton. Is he locked in?
Well, the only thing about what's going on with Todd Helton, and again, folks, this is the thing about him. You just hope right now, the way he's swinging the bat, people are on base when he comes up. You just hope the top of that order can produce some base runners, because he is going to drive some runs in.
Well, it's time for our job done right player of the series. Helton, the candidate. We're going to tip our cap to Troy Tulowitzki. 7 for 10, a home run, 3 ribbies in the series. Presented by the Colorado Association of Mechanical and Plumbing Contractors. To have your next building or service project done right the first time, visit mpccolorado.org. Between Helton and Tulowitzki, they've been on 6 times in 7 plate appearances in this ball game. Since '74, 7 times a shortstop has produced a 30 home run, 20 stolen base season. Tulowitzki with his 20 stolen base today joins Alex Rodriguez, who has done it twice, Hanley Ramirez, who's done it, Barry Larkin, who's now a broadcaster, who's done it, and Nomar Garcia-Parra. This ball is wide to left center field, and that should get Tulowitzki's average very close to 300.
I'll take a tour of Coors Field, see the places you can't visit during the ball game while sitting in the stands. That's the dugout, the visitors clubhouse, and the press box. Guided tours available Monday through Saturday for both groups or individuals who like to take a tour of the ballpark. For tickets or information, please call 303 Rockies.
Tulo's got more work to do, George. 299.06. Atkins with a looper to left. That'll drop. Helton got a good read. Cameron will not have a play at either home or third. Make it 6-1. Colorado It's a 3 RBI ball game for Garrett Atkins.
Yeah, that's been a while, Addy. Having quite a day here at the ballpark. A lot of times Jim Tracy would have flipped to the left side this early in the game. For the Rockies lead, they went to their bullpen, and Atkins has really made it pay. Helton with the leadoff single, Tulowitzki with a hard single. But then this ball in on the hands of Garrett Atkins, yet stayed upright, got inside the baseball, and able to dump it into the outfield and to pick up the RBI. Helton with a break off of the ball into left center field. Comes around and is able to score.
Mike McCoy has come in. He's going to run for Atkins at first. It's been a busy dugout the last few days. And standing and high-fiving on a regular basis. You got to love it. Lionette at the plate. Inside from Axford. Nobody out, first and third. Two and out. Two and one. I'm looking out at the concourse, George. Rock pile's pretty filled up. Concourse out beyond left field all the way to center field. It is busy with traffic, and this team has once again captured the hearts of this town, this region. Folks come from Wyoming and New Mexico and all parts of the state, western Kansas, to go to Coors Field, root on the Rockies. Swung on and missed. 2-2.
That's the neat part about it. I know coming here in 1998, still drawing 55,000 people in the ballpark, stacked everywhere. You couldn't find a seat. The downtown area alive. It's good to see the Rockies hats, jackets, sweatshirts, t-shirts, all people walking around as I stay downtown and go to eat breakfast and do things that you just see the Rockies memorabilia everywhere.
And a big hello to our friends over in Utah and the folks who watch in the Salt Lake region, follow the Rockies over there. A lot of big Rockies fans to our west. Runner going, swung on and missed. Kendall throwing through, and McCoy steals second on the strikeout.
And all about jump, big right-hander on the mound. Got a little bit of a slide step, but a slow delivery out in the front side. Hard slider down and in. McCoy just outran the throw down. A stolen base for McCoy.
Two ribbies out there for Brad Hopp. Lopez looking in at the dugout. He came in halfway. Escobar was still back. Seems to be some indecision. And the first pitch to Brad is high, ball one.
They're trying to get the attention of Willie Randolph, a bench coach, middle infielder, at his playing days of what they wanted to do. And Ken Maka said, just stay back.
Wow. Hop foul tip, 1-1. Two and one. You know, there's faint praise, and then there's praise where you can tell it is, you know, heartfelt, if you will. Ken Maka talking about the Rockies, saying nobody wants to play them in the postseason.
Well, you got all the offensive side of things. They're playing great defense. They're pitching well, and they look at a record not of a run as they did in '07, but of a overall period of time since Jim Tracy took over this baseball team and the way they played the game. That's what they look at.
It's Chris Smith. We saw him yesterday. 3-2 on Brad. Strike 3. It's been a tough day at the office for Hop. That's his 4th punch out. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Barmes. He didn't much care for that call by Jim Joyce.
No, I can understand why. Started up high and into the outside part of the plate. Thought it was ball 4, ends up being strike 3.
They're going to put Barmes on with first base open. And pitch to Aaron Cook. He's been tough to pitch to today. Got 2 walks and 3 at bats.
Picked up an RBI with one of those walks.
He did. How about this, Frage? In the 6th inning in 2009, the Rockies have doubled their opponent's output. 110 runs to 55.
A lot of times second or third time through the lineup where you figure out that starting pitcher. That's why the damage gets to where it is. And the success they've had. The more looks, the better things are going to turn for you. And that's why it's so, I think, imperative, even Rockies pitching or the visiting team, kind of change the routine of what you're trying to accomplish or what you're going to.
Well, Mr. Carpenter today for the St. Louis Cardinals hit a grand slam and drove in 6th. Aaron Cook with his opportunity right now. Outside, ball 1. Outside, ball 2. (6-1) Colorado. 3-0. Hard pitch to George. You said it earlier.
Just watch it. Just like that, all you can do as a manager is shake your head, and as a pitching coach, just be frustrated.
Aaron's 6'3". They're pitching him like he's Eddie Goodell. That's not close. Another RBI for Cook on 1. 7-1. Tacos for everybody tomorrow. That's what you want in the home finale. Make sure you go to Taco Bell tomorrow between 4 and 6 in our wonderful state. Get 4 tacos for $1.
Doug, I got a project for you. When was the last time a starting pitcher walked 3 times in a game and had 2 RBIs?
Don't do that to him.
He's already working on it. Doug likes challenges.
Dexter Fowler at the plate, looking to do more damage. That's a strike. No problem throwing strikes to the 6'5" guy who hits for a living. Ground ball to first. The fielder barely wins the race there. In the inning, the Rockies pick off a couple more runs. They lead at 7-1. 9 outs away from the postseason again. in the postseason. Time for our great Colorado Payback Sideline Report. Once again, here's Mark Stapp.
And Drew and George, speaking of that postseason, and you guys have speculated already, what will the postseason roster look like? In fact, I had a fan already say, is Giambi eligible? And I said, yes, Giambi's eligible. Let's take a look at the 2007 postseason roster. And when you take a look at that, you'll notice that there are 13 players that are still with the Rockies. Aaron Cook was part of the World Series roster only. And, of course, he's on the hill today. There are the names you see. Now, I'm thinking about the bullpen. You see Hergis on there, Morales, and Josh Fogg all in the bullpen now. I think it's questionable as to whether two of those guys will even be on the postseason roster. Morales certainly will be involved. But you see some of the names there. Cook, Fogg, Hergis, Jimenez, Morales, the pitchers, the two catchers, Atkins, Helton, Tulowitzki, Hopp, Smith, and Spilborghs. But you've got Gonzalez, you've got Dexter Fowler this year. And I think an interesting name just to bring up that it's not on that list, as Tulo grabs another one at short, is Clint Barmes. Barmes was not part of the postseason in 2007. And going back to what he told me in the clubhouse today, he said, you know what? Jim Tracy has really had the confidence in him, something he's been thankful about this season, that he knows that he is going to be playing second base virtually every day for Jim Tracy, and that should be the case in the postseason, guys.
Well, it was one of the first significant moves that Jim Tracy made when he took over. He said, Barmes is going to be my second baseman every day because I love the way he plays defense. This ball is a loud shot down the left field line by Mike Cameron. Spilborghs will fire it back in. Cameron has a one-out double. And Barmes, for a good period of time there, was also Jim Tracy's two-hole hitter. And he tailed off a little bit. Of course, that coincided with the offensive arrival of Carlos Gonzalez. And for a good period of time, it was Fowler and Gonzalez in tandem up top. And Seth Smith was doing great things. And Barmes has hit more out of the 8-hole here in the last couple of months, but his defense and his ability to hit the ball over the wall, he's been out there every day. Escobar with one out and one on. That's a strike. George, you have to be thoroughly impressed again with the effort of Cook. For a guy that missed 5 weeks, if you didn't know that, just watching him throw, you'd never figured that he had time off, would you?
Yeah, the big thing jumps out at me is 71 pitches, and he's in the 7th inning with one out. Just pound the strike zone and do just this. Allow the defense. It's been a mainstay for this ball club in winning baseball games.
And once again, a reminder, and we're going to do this a bunch over the last few days. The Rockies will have pre- and post-game reports. We'll have them for you right here on FSN Rocky Mountain throughout the divisional playoffs. The Rockies finished this one off. And we had a lot of fun bringing that to you in 2007 throughout the postseason. Jason Kendall with 2 outs. That's a strike. Kendall's driven in 6 in this series. First time since 2008, August of 2008, that he had back-to-back multi-RBI ball games. And one hopper that's handled by Tulowitzki. That's not an easy play. But Troy makes everything seem pretty routine. He is special. Aaron Cook's performance today special. 7-1 Rockies. Big Sisters. Donate your car and you'll get a free tow and tax break, and you'll help change a kid's life. And by Bird Auto. To find great deals on used cars, visit ColoradoWheelsOnline.com or pick up a magazine at over 200 locations. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, and Mark Stout. Rockies up 7-1. Final home game of the year, at least in the regular season. If the Rockies can hold this 6-run margin with 6 outs to go on defense, they're into the postseason for the 3rd time in their history and 2nd time in the last 3 years. Ryan Spilborgh's facing Mitch Stetter. It'll be the 71st appearance for Stetter. The opposition hitting just .220 against him. Thought we'd see him earlier in the series, George. There were a couple of matchups left on left where he had gotten up.
Yeah, you would have thought so. But obviously, kind of saving that one spot to where maybe he could use him. Hadn't seen him. The bullpen's been depleted with the shutdown of Vargas, Villanueva, and Weathers. Just trying to fill the rest of this ball game up the best they can.
Axford gave up a couple of runs on 4 hits. Walked 2. Nine walks by Milwaukee today. 3-2. If your windshield's damaged, call Colorado's #1 team, Elite Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, or visit them online at safelite.com. Windy day at Coors Field, and this ball is hit high in the air to left field. The wind's going to hold it up. Vaughn will make the catch. Another day, different weather conditions. That may be a trot around the bases. Todd Helton, 2 more hits today. He's got the average at 324. Do you realize, George, if he maintains a 320 average, it'll be the 9th time in his career he's hit at least 320.
Special player, I can tell you that. Todd Helton, he's been a lot of fun for me to watch through his career here in Colorado and to see what he's able to accomplish. Kept his body in great shape. 325 home runs, 200 of those at Coors Field.
Single, walk, strikeout, single. Scored 3 runs today. His buddy behind him, Tulowitzki, is 3 for 3 in a walk and has scored a couple of runs. And, Todd chips it to McGee. By the time Stetter takes that first stride, it looks like he might as well throw it from where Felipe Lopez is.
But you know, you got to have deception from the left side, particularly when you're a specialist. You've lost your velocity. You don't throw nearly as hard as what you used to do unless you're a closer. So then you get to deception and to work on it, and you make everything work in your favor against lefties. He's done that.
So Tulowitzki sitting at 299.06. Inside ball 1. Tulowitzki gets hit, and he's now on for the 5th time this afternoon.
Ooh, fastball right in the back of the leg. You see that? I mean, there's nowhere to go. You're trying to turn to get out of the way, and the ball's cutting and cutting, and it just bites.
First at bat for Ian Stewart in at 3rd base. Garrett Atkins, who started, had a big day. 3 for 4, 3 RBIs. inside. 2-0. This ball on the ground, a fielder. Nice pickup by Prince. He goes to the bag. That's all for the Rockies in the 7th. We move on to the 8th. Colorado leading 7-1 over the Brewers. Think about it. You got Braun, you have Fielder, McGee, who could swing the bat.
Right now, they're finally got in.
They're trying to get a door closed out.
No, trying to get it open. The guard couldn't get in.
Oh, get it open, then get it closed.
The Rockies had an extra man on the field. They needed to wait till he got inside the bullpen.
9-1-2. This is Matt Gamble. A young player that is one of the better prospects for Milwaukee, but he's been blocked a little bit because of the emergence of Casey McGee. 2-0. Aaron's thrown 77 pitches. Here he is working in the 8th inning.
I mentioned it off the top of this show today before he started. There's not going to be a limit. You got 80 to 90 pitches. He might throw a complete ball game or get you deep into this game. You're deep. It's the 8th inning with a 6-run lead right now. 75 pitches thrown total in the ball game. By Doug's count, the stadium has 78.
And you know what? There's some guys down in the bullpen that needed some rest today. And I think in a perfect world, as that misses 3-1, Jim Tracy would like to stay away from a Matt Daly today, and Matt Belisle.
Well, particularly with what's getting ready to transpire going to L.A.
These are big games. Tracy was talking about it before the ball game. Here's the 3-1. Ooh, close. That's the first walk of the ball game allowed by Aaron Cook. Time for today's Quest high-speed pitch, brought to you by Quest High-Speed Internet. Parr wasn't around long. He did hit 96, but he couldn't hit the strike zone very frequently. Aaron with that sinker at 91. But he was saying, hey, if we get past today and go to Los Angeles, you're not going to have to be digging deep in the media guide to look up biographies on guys you haven't seen that frequently. And that's obvious. I mean, you have an opportunity to win a division. That's
the key to it. A lot of people said, well, you're in the playoffs. Well, yeah, but to have the playoff home field advantage through the whole entire first couple of rounds, that is huge. The World Series will start in the American League because they won the All-Star game. But to have it and have these fans backing you the whole time, it's a special feeling for a player.
You know, it has to be a nice feeling right now, George. I mean, as fans, even as broadcasters, you pull hard for your team. This fouled off by Felipe Lopez. And we all pull hard for the Colorado Rockies in whatever hat we wear. Jim Tracy has to live and die over every pitch, especially here in September. Well, this afternoon, in a game where the Rockies can clinch, to sit here in the 8th inning and to know his club is up 7-1 as opposed to have to, battle his way through a 3-2 ball game.
Sure.
Got to be kind of nice. Ground ball to second. Tulowitzki's throw off line. No harm, though, because it hit the netting on the fence in front of the dugout, so no advancement from Lopez. 1 out. Felipe trades places with Matt Gamble.
Now, the ball not hit particularly hard, and that's the thing about it. Gamble's a guy that can run pretty well. They get into Tulowitzki at second base, and he fires well enough just to miss everything.
Bring up Jody Garrett, who has not been able to lift that bowling ball sinker of Aaron Cook. Ground ball to short, ground ball to third, ground ball to third. To short, this one should be 2. And it will be. 6-4-3 on the turn. Aaron Cook safely through the 8th inning. 7-1 Colorado. Cool and windy, autumn-like, but a beautiful day. The scoreboard reads 7-1 Colorado. They're 3 outs away from making the postseason for the 2nd time in the last 3 years, and they'll set a franchise record with their 91st win. We want to thank our wonderful crew. They're with us every single home game, and many of them travel with us as well. And we like to say we have the best crew in the business, and it's not just verbiage. This crew, a lot of them work nationally at the network level. The reason why, their continued excellence in so many areas of sports television. So a big tip of the cap from up here in the broadcast booth.
Well, a lot of times it's just like a ball club that has family, and they're family to all of us because we've all been together for so long, done so many different events together. Know about their kids, they know about our kids. I mean, it's a neat environment to work in, trust me.
2-strike count on Iannetta. Fouled off. Had to get after one of those family members a moment ago, George, in the truck.
Who are you picking on now?
Well, he hates when I mention him, so I'm going to mention him.
Jim Armentrout?
Jim Armentrout, our director. Yeah. He's been in baseball a long time. Trout, you are the man. 1 and 2. You know, one thing I would point out, last year, it wasn't this year, but last year we did a thing that was well received where a couple times we had a camera inside the truck during the ball game. And folks at home got the perspective of how hard everybody works inside the truck each and every night. And they learned a little bit about directing and producing and videotape and audio. And this ball is drilled to right center field. It's got a lot of carry to it. It is over the head of Jody Garrett. Chris Iannetta in the second with a double. You know what, George? He hasn't had many at-bats the last 6 weeks. Torey Alba's been unconscious, as we all know. But in the handful of at-bats that he's gotten, he's hit the ball hard.
2 doubles, and the last couple of appearances he's had in a ball game, the pinch hit home run. Everybody remembers that. Prior to that, he had a double in right center field. Then again here in this ball game, a double in right center field. Third time he's been on base today, a couple of walks, and in this ball over the head of Jody Garrett.
And this ball lifted high and deep right center field. Did Hop get it? You bet. 2-run home run for Brad Hop. That has to feel good. He has the golden sombrero today. 4 punch outs and a bomb. Rockies, 22nd Jack of the Year for the Rockies All-Star right fielder. Some like it hot.
He got that ball to the inner half and he left it up and a hop. As we've seen him do many, many times. He knew that ball was out of the ballpark. Gets a couple of glances into the sky to just see how far it was going to drop. 9-1 Rockies.
Now that doesn't happen every day at the ballpark. 4 punch outs, you get a 5th AB, and you hit one a mile.
And I've always said the reason Brad Hop doesn't worry about things because Brad Hop doesn't worry about himself. He just goes out and plays the game.
Barmes takes the ball. We were talking about Iannetta's success. On September 1st, he's 7 for 15. Good for you, number 11. Here's Smith's 2-1, and it's pop foul out of play. We have another gentleman we want to thank, who does a great job for us here at Coors Field. We talk about him frequently because he is the absolute best in the business at what he does. And there he is, right behind, not Ken Miller. Ken Miller's worked his way in the shot. Kenny's our executive producer and director. But this is the guy that George affectionately calls the hippie, Doug Marino, who is a baseball historian, and he's a joy to be around. And it would not be the same. I mean, this is the only nice thing I'm going to say the rest of the day. So it would not be the same without you here. He was part of our family up here, and he does an extraordinary job. A base hit for Barmes. Remember when we used to have the computer competitions where we had to research something, me against Doug? How many did I win, George?
None, 0.
0?
You're on about 60.
I know, I got bageled. It's the last home game. Find something really, really obscure for Doug to look up.
Just this, I did a minute ago. Pitcher walks 3 times and gets 2 RBIs.
No, we just had one, George. 4 punch outs and a bomb. Last guy to do it. 4 punch outs and a bomb. Good
Eric
luck.
Young's going to come on. That means Eric Cook's night's over. He gives up 4 hits in a run. What a job Cookie did today. Man, oh man.
And again, I go back to the 5 innings against St. Louis, George, and afterward, the words Jim Tracy used, or the word he used to describe it, was stunned. And he said, I'm not saying that. He clarified it to say that I'm surprised that Aaron Cook pitched well. Not at all. He goes, I had expectations that Aaron would pitch well. He said, but the way he pitched, in terms of as if he didn't miss a beat. I mean, it was vintage Aaron Cook, 12 ground ball outs in 5 innings. To be that sharp after sitting out for more than a month, he was, as he said, stunned. Well, backing up that performance against a pretty good Milwaukee lineup, what adjectives will he use in a few minutes when he meets the media?
Didn't walk a batter till the bottom of the 8th inning. Oh, that ball took a bad hop, caught right side of the head.
Yeah, off Chris Smith. Hopefully he's okay. How long ago, by the way, George, did I ask that question of Doug to look up?
Not sure.
Wasn't long.
Not sure.
He's already got an answer.
Watch him go to work right now. That ball caught him right in the lip. You know what it looked like to me? Nose or speed on the base paths a little bit. I don't think the ball took a bad hop. I think he was just trying to get there in a hurry to the ball, and he whiffed it. Hit off of the glove, thinking about a double play, and he caught it right in the mouth. Let's watch, see what he does with the glove. Is he thinking, all right, speed, let's rotate the body, get in a position to turn, and then right in the coconut.
Yeah, not pretty. Well, they tend to Chris Smith and his lip. I'm a little surprised at this. Brad, 4 punch outs in the ball game, and then the home run a few moments ago. It's the 7th time it's happened in baseball this year.
There you go. So see,
the last,
such a big deal, wasn't it?
Well, I thought it was. I thought it was. Last
wait a minute. You got Dougie scrambling over like you really stumped him. Well, and he just threw it out at you in about a minute and a half.
And he's got more for me. This is Dougie's just showing off. Evan Longoria for Tampa on August 4th this year was the last player to do it. He's going to have to come out. The last Rocky to do it, Matt Holliday, July 13th of 2007, struck out 4 times in a game and then hit a home run. Doug, well done. You know what? We're not worthy. The we're not worthy bow. No more questions for you. You can rest. So Smith has to leave. Todd Coffey will come in. We'll step aside. 9-1 Colorado. Celebration to come. Now is the time, FSN. And thanks to all the folks at home for watching us on a nightly basis from March, when we first cranked up our coverage of the Rockies, through October with our postseason coverage for Jeff Houston and George Frazier, Alana Rizzo, and Mark Stout. We all thank you very much. And of course, our travel crew, Mike Fox, who produces a number of the games, Tavis Strand, who also produces, Ken Miller, Jim Armitrap, the directors, Javi and Tape, Susan Lom, who never misses a game. I don't think she's missed a game since '93.
Tracy Ringlesby and Tom Helmer out on the pregame set.
He's going to get to
every day.
They have their, they have their own fan club now out in center field.
It's huge. It's nice.
Well, coffee's ready to go. Coffee, George, actually, can someone run and get us coffee, because it's starting to get even colder?
I've been having mine right over here perfectly. Another thing Doug does for me, brings coffee every day. It's pretty tasty.
9-1, nobody out in the 8th inning. The first pitch to Fowler misses. Rockies got the 2-run jack from Brad Hopp, then Barma singled. Eric Young Jr. singled off of Chris Smith. Looks like Chris is going to be okay. And now Coffee to face Fowler. And a shot that's gloved by Escobar for one. You're not going to double up Dexter even on a hard hit ball. First and third, one out. Good play by Escobar.
Very good play by Escobar. Got to dive, pick it up, try to turn the double play, flip it around.
Spilborg's coming to the bat for the tune of Eye of the Tiger. 1 for 5 this afternoon for Ryan. 8 home runs, 48 driven in, career best 24 doubles. Rockies have out-hit the Brewers 14-4, swung on and missed. So the Rockies will go to Los Angeles down by just 2 games.
How exciting is that to go into that? Everybody's focused, so much focus just to get in.
Well,
and then now all of a sudden you have that opportunity to win your West, to host the home field. It could work that way, folks. It really could. All of that plays into it. And then the other side of this is, the Dodgers clinched their playoff spot a while back. They haven't had a celebration yet. They're waiting to celebrate when they win the West to be in. They're in the wild card.
Well, that's why, people want to celebrate with the Rockies today. I think you're going to see a lot of happy folks. I don't think you're going to see, obviously, the kind of celebration you saw when Matt Holliday scored.
No, nor should you.
In 2007. And this club believes there's still work to do.
Well, don't be
now
satisfied.
At the division, take an extraordinary weekend in L.A., but the division now within reach.
Right.
It's wild, George, to your point, it's wild how this thing's unfolded, because just 2 days ago, I mean, even yesterday, you're just talking about the Atlanta Braves and you're checking the scoreboard. How the Braves doing? Because they're coming on like gangbusters, and you're trying to hold on to the wild card spot. And now you have an opportunity, if you have a great weekend in L.A., to win the division.
They're struggling. They're 4-6 right now, off today. 4-6 in the last 10. The Rockies 8-2.
Strike 3 on Spilborgs.
It appeared to be a hard slider. Very difficult to watch this ball come to the plate. Now the ball was down. Spilborgs thought it was. I think on the Hyundai cam you'll see a little bit of an indication, a drop of the knee, dropping the ball down in the strike zone. But what probably helped it out a little bit is the extension of the arm of Kendall to receive the ball and keep it in the strike zone.
Helton at the plate. Takes ball one. Nope, takes strike one. Excuse me.
Yeah, the neatest thing, I mean, as a player, I can remember 87, 84, 81 is making that victory lap around the ballpark for the fans at home that were such an integral part of helping you get through this. And that was the celebration. The celebration of getting in and being able to have one more shot at the gold ring. A World's Championship.
Well, here we go. The Rockies get 2 on the 2-run blast by Hop. 3 outs away. 9-1 Colorado. Colorado 3 outs away from capturing a postseason bid. Tom Helmer, we're going to have a busy postgame show, aren't we?
And all I got to say is welcome to Rocktober. They punched their ticket. Drew, I know you'll be down in the clubhouse. We'll have live interviews from the clubhouse. We'll break down kind of what's happened this season. We'll talk about the postseason. Moving ahead to L.A., Rockies still with a chance to win the NL West. I can't believe we're talking about that. Drew, it's going to be phenomenal. Of course, we'll have our rowdies out here for most of the postgame show. They were just chanting 3 more outs, so they're ready to go. It's going to be a party here in Lodo.
You're the chairman of that harem. You realize that?
I point, they go. They've gotten the cue. But it's been a lot of fun.
Then you go home and reality hits, by the way, in terms of being in charge, right?
Exactly. Then it's the kids are like, Dad,
right.
They bring me right back. Yeah.
You point, they go the other direction.
Exactly. I'm like 6th on the totem pole back at the house.
I understand.
There go the chants again. 3 more outs. They're ready.
I understand. I can relate to that. All right, Tom.
All right.
We'll talk to you a little bit, buddy.
You got it.
Franklin Morales looking for those last 3 outs. Ryan Braun, Prince Fielder, Casey McGee from Milwaukee. Crowd on their feet. Usually you wait till the last guy comes up or the last strike to stand up. A wonderful Thursday afternoon crowd all standing in appreciation of the 09 Rockies. I think Morales is a little hyped up too.
I got the lowest earned run average in the history of this ballpark at Coors. 1.42 earned run average in this ballpark. Franklin Morales. You have to have 10 plus innings to qualify for that. He has 19 in the third in 09.
Here's the 1-0, and that's at the bottom of the zone. 1-1. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 800 Comcast. Just over 39,000 this afternoon at Coors Field. 1-2.
Well, what's impressive was the way the Rockies the last 2 nights, 19 runs thrown up on the board. Today, 14 hits. Last night, 13 hits. Showing what the bats can do. So Broom, yep, it's out. Looking for that sweep and 3 outs.
Morales with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, fouled straight back by Braun. He has supplied all of the offense today for Milwaukee. A home run through the wind to left against Aaron Cook in the 6th, who was just brilliant today.
Again.
Again. I'd say he's ready to go in the postseason. Changeup misses. 2-2. Ground ball to short. Tulowitzki. And Braun playing hard. Made it a close play, 1 out. Today's delivery of the game brought to you by Jimmy John's. The performance of Aaron Cook. Second game off the DL, and he was special. 8 innings, 1 run on just 4 hits. Walked only 1, struck out a pair. He dominated this very good Milwaukee lineup. Prince Fielder was 1 for 3 against Cook. Two and one. See some hankies George left over from a few nights ago.
Yeah, those rally towels were very special for the Rockies in '07. People remembering that, bringing it to the ball game. A way to make this city and these fans feel a part of what's happened here. You know, it's special for everyone sitting down in that dugout, particularly guys like Tommy Runnels that was managing in AAA, got the shot to come here when Clint was let go and Tracy took over. Guys that have never experienced postseason.
But one of the interesting things about the composition of this roster, something that was touched on earlier in the ball game on a couple of occasions, there is now guys that are familiar with postseason baseball. And of course, the addition of Giambi, who's been in the postseason 10 times. Line drive, center field, a base hit.
Third baseman, number 14, Casey McGee.
They're ready to go. Casey McGee 0 for 3.
Really a big advantage for Morales right now. It didn't show up so much with with Prince Fielder at the plate. With the shadows and the dealing with a quick arm and a velocity. 95-96 today from Franklin Morales.
Left field. Out number 2. Cameron will be next. Coors Field ready to rock. Here's the 1-0 to Mike Cameron. One and two. Well, you can do at home what they're doing here. Stand and cheer. The Rockies one strike away. Here's the 1-2. That man ought to be proud, and his entire baseball operations staff. They haven't had just a good year. They've had a good 6 years building to where they are now. 3-2. Jim Tracy, this will be his 71st win since taking over. Basically 2 months into the season. That is incredible. Here's the 3-2. In the air to right center field. Pretty well hit. And it is off the wall. Prince Fielder's going to come around to score. On the Cameron double, it's 9-2. He got up in that wind tunnel and just kept carrying and carrying to right center field. So the celebration will be put on pause as Escobar comes up.
A lot of emotions, you know, running through that young kid's head on the mound right now, trying to finish it off. 2 pitches in a row, pretty close.
Miles an hour, strike one. Again, a big post-game report to follow with Tom Helmer. He'll be inside the clubhouse. This is popped up right side. Helmer is giving a look, won't have to play. 2-strike count now on Alcides Escobar. And the 0-2. He's got it. Time to celebrate. The Rockies are headed back to the postseason.
A lot of high fives going on in the middle of this field. A lot of hard work. You would have never thought it. You look back in April and May, and then to see the excitement on this field and everybody being a part of it. It's a wonderful day at Coors Field for the Colorado Rockies and this organization.
Second time in the last 3 years. And their work in this regular season is not done. They will head to Los Angeles with an opportunity to still capture the National League West, something they have never done since their inception in 1993. 91 wins, an all-time record for the Colorado Rockies of 2009.
Yo-yo!